Hi, I'm Rich Harwood, and I want to talk to you for a few minutes about the Harwood Summit and hope that you'll join us this year. You know, I started the summit about 9 years ago with support from the Kellogg Foundation after having lunches and dinners with folks like yourself who would tell me that they often didn't have the chance to have the kinds of conversations we were having and that they were bone tired from running so fast and so hard. And so we started the summit with three purposes. One, we wanted to give people a chance to talk about issues that are often at the backs of our mind, but which require our full attention. And so each year at the summit, I start the conversation with a single word. One year it was affection, and what role does it play in our public lives? Another year it was solitude, and where do we find solitude in our lives? And as the group talked about it, what's required to create solitude, which they said is having a relationship with other people. Another year, it was grace. Why is it so important? And where can we find it in our lives? As people start to talk about this issue on Friday evening, the first night of the summit, we then turn to Saturday morning for small group discussions. No presentations, no PowerPoints, no panel discussions, just roundtable conversations among participants driven by you around topics that I sort of keep track of over the course of the year and then tee up on Saturday morning. Sometimes the topics deal with issues around immigration and how is our country moving forward as it becomes more diverse. Other times it's the role of technology in the public good. Other times it's whether or not collective impact is a fad or something real. It's also about conversations about us personally, about what does it mean as each of us is going through transitions in our lives to let go of those things that we need to let go of in order to move forward. Then Saturday afternoon, I always pick an issue that I've personally been working on over the last year and tee it up for a conversation. One year, it was about my experience leading the community of Newtown after the massacre there at Sandy Hook Elementary School, and talking about what does it mean to stand in a space when people are feeling trauma and despair, and how do we help people pivot to healing and hope. Another year, it was around how do we work with people as whole individuals in our communities and not simply address a part of them as we're doing our work. And what does it mean for us to bring our whole selves to that work? Then Sunday morning, it's all about you. I often tee it up with a passage from Martin Luther King or Eleanor Roosevelt or Abraham Lincoln or Bobby Kennedy. One year it was around the drum major instinct speech that King gave. And in it, he talks about that we all have this urge to lead the parade. And so there we talked about what does it mean to lead a parade? What does it take from us? And what does it require of us? And then we always end each summit with something we do in all of the Harwood Institute's work. And that is for us to engage in a conversation, a personal covenant that I ask you to fill out so that you can guide your work moving forward in a way that is more centered, more grounded, and ways in which you can stay true to those things that matter most to you. So number one is we talk about issues that require our full attention. The second thing is that at this summit, it's an eclectic group of folks. You know, all of us, including myself, we all go to conferences every year with folks just like ourselves doing similar work to ourselves. That's not the case at the summit. It's an eclectic group. We've got foundation presidents and folks from communities and folks who head up national groups and folks who from the faith-based community. It's a collection of folks much like a dinner party that we might all experience. And because we want such an intimate conversation and set of relationships, we actually cap the number of participants of the summit at 55 each year. And then the third thing we focus on after teeing up important issues and bringing folks together who we often don't get a chance to talk with, the third thing is a heavy dose of personal rejuvenation. How is it that as we're beginning more centered and more focused and more grounded on those things that matter most to us, how is it that we can leave the summit with a sense of renewal, a sense of greater purpose, a sense of greater mission about what we're up to in our work and in our personal lives? So I hope you'll think about coming to the summit. For those folks who like this kind of thing, what I can tell you is our